Clive is a Manchester United fan. Clive, Happy New Year to you, sir. How worried are you about relegation?
Well, Happy New Year to you too. To be honest with you, I think if we got relegated, although it would be rather horrible, I think it would be the best thing for the club because they think it's a complete reset. I think it's the only way the Glazers will ever leave because the Glazers won't put up with the Championship because it won't bring any money in for them. Ineos not giving any money in January, I think it's very poor. They should have bought Amarin in the summer, not bought him in the middle of the season with these rubbish players. I don't understand why would you pay all that money to bring Amarin in, where he's at a club who's doing really, really well, and bring him into this club with this mess that we're in. Why couldn't they wait till the summer, bring him in with a pre-season, then get the players in? So they can't sack him.
But, I mean, the only thing I would say, Clive, is it was going so badly under Ten Hag. There had to be a change, surely.
Oh, it had to be a change, and I agree that Amarin had to come in. And I have no problem. I think the way he talks about Rashford, he dismisses that, and I think it's brilliant that he does the press conferences fantastically well. I think there's going to be more pain to come. I can't see us winning at Liverpool, to be honest. But at the end of the day, if we got relegated and a complete reset, which would be a horrible thing to have to do, which happened in 1972-74, I think it would be a good thing for the club. They can restart again, get rid of these players out of these ridiculous contracts and ridiculous money. I mean, how can Casemiro be on $350,000 a week and Rashford, who play like they do? I mean, yesterday, Newcastle played brilliantly. I got no complaints about that. I thought they were outstanding.
Yeah.
But why would, when they're doing the pre-season warm-up, did two of the players, who are the youngsters in the team, I think it's a new guy coming in from the academy, were left on their own to play with each other, and the other four were joking and laughing with each other.
Yeah, it's
a battle, for crying out loud. At the end of the day, Martinez was at fault yesterday for the goals. So was Maguire. You can't be opened up like that. I feel sorry for Højlund. He's getting no service whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Højlund had a pretty good chance, didn't he, at the end of the half and didn't quite get it, and Casemiro missed one as well. I think if Man United had scored, it might have made it a bit more interesting, but eventually it was pretty easy, really, wasn't it, for Newcastle in the end. Simon is a Manchester United fan as well. Simon, what's the main problem at your club at the moment? It seemed to me that Clive was suggesting it's all down to the players.
Happy New Year to you guys.
Yeah, you too, mate.
Had a great Christmas. Thank you. I mean, you need a 3-hour show, wouldn't you, to sort this mess out? The main problem is that we've wasted, the day that Ferguson retired, we've wasted the last 10, 11 seasons. The only way that we're going to move forward is, and I echo some of the sentiments in the previous caller, absolute reset. You know, drastic change. There's too much stuff gone on prior to Ineos coming in. That I admit they're making a bit of a mess with some of the decisions. So, you know, they chased Ashworth, now they fired him. They gave up Ten Hag a new contract, and then they got rid of him. I do think we have got the best manager. I don't think there's any doubt about that. He's one of the hottest prospects in European football. And I just feel that we need a complete reset. And for me, I was at the game last night, and it was shambolic. You know, the atmospheres, you know, around Lou McCorry's chip shot, when you're walking down Matt Busby Way to the ground, there's just no atmosphere. It's like impending doom. Do you know how bad it is when you expect to go to a home game, with all due respect to Newcastle, and you're not surprised when we lose? So for me, complete cultural reset, and I think we need to bring some more youth players in. And I mean, we constantly go on about this youth setup that we have. Well, let's put our, you know, put action into place, because, you know, we can't do any worse. So I bring youth players in, under Amarin, support him, and if we went down, I would be absolutely devastated, but I genuinely also think it could be the best thing.
It's amazing.
I'm telling you now, it will not be the best thing. It would be the worst thing probably in football's history if Manchester United get relegated from the Premier League. What you do need to do is get rid of majority of that team, because it's not good enough for Manchester United. It's good enough for maybe a Crystal Palace. No disrespect to a Crystal Palace, for Wolves or something like that. Everton, but for a Manchester United, those players are not good enough. So you need to get rid of all this deadwood and take 3 to 4 years in investing in good players. It's as simple as that.
Do you know what? I always find it a bit baffling when it gets this desperate as a fan, doesn't it? But when people say, I want us to go down, or they think it would be a good thing, I completely agree with you, Jermaine. It's not a good thing.
No.
It takes away so much. I mean, it is,
because
it's
they have to change
unthinkable
the wage
that we're talking about Man
bill,
United.
because they're not getting the money. They have to change the wage bill, so players will be leaving. And then trying to then get back up. We've seen teams go down from the Prem and really struggle to get back up because of the financial difficulties that they put themselves in. So getting relegated is an absolute no-no. Love to see it, but it will be the worst thing for you guys.
It really would be bad for Manchester United. Andy is a Manchester United fan. Andy, I mean, how are you feeling at the moment? Can you actually believe we're kind of talking about this? Man United potentially in a relegation battle.
Hi, good afternoon, guys. Happy New Year.
You too, mate.
No, not really. I don't think that they will get relegated. There's too many teams beneath them that are way worse. I know Man United are not good at the moment. I agree with the last caller, and I agree with Jermaine. They need to get rid of the deadwood that is in the ranks, getting paid colossal amounts of money, and not running through a brick wall for the team. I'm sure Jermaine played when he was playing and was told to play out of position. He would still play and give 100%. These guys are not giving 100%. So just get rid.
Yeah, and it's a really interesting point there, Andy. I just want to ask you about that, Jermaine, because we've talked a lot about the quality of these players. We think that Manchester United have paid way too much and pay them way too much as well. But it's an interesting point about that Andy makes there about not wanting to run through brick walls. What are you making of the actual attitude of these Man United players at the moment?
Yeah, it's poor. It's a team that's got no confidence, no morale at all, high morale, anything at all. They're literally going into each game as underdogs, even though they're Manchester United. No one's scared of them. And the manager's not helping them, saying that we're in a relegation battle.
And bear in mind, they were missing their captain last night because he got sent off in the last game.
Missing their captain, yeah, as well. So it's literally, really desperate times for Manchester United. You look at that team and you go to what players, this is Manchester United we're talking about. You go, what players would get into the top 10 other teams?
Yeah. Would any of the Man United players get into Newcastle's 11? Any of them?
None.
None. Maybe Ahmad on the right to the Murphy, potentially.
Potentially, but okay. So out of 11, you're getting one. This is Manchester United. Saying that
Newcastle are a good team.
Yeah, I know they're a good team, but to say that no players in the Man United team can not get in, Newcastle or Aston Villa is crazy.
Ash is a Manchester United fan. Ash, I mean, it's not looking good at the moment. I just want to ask you, Ash, though, about Ruben Amorim and what he's had to say after this game. Saying relegation's a possibility. One of the worst moments in the history of our club. What are you making about the way he's talking after games? Because it just seems completely desperate.
I suppose he's trying to be honest. And I think, unfortunately for all us long-suffering Man United fans, he's going to learn the hard way how to deal pretty much with the British media. Obviously, in Portugal, it's a different animal you're dealing with, and perhaps that type of, honesty and being quite frank and forthcoming with what he thinks he can get away with there, but you just can't get away with that here.
What do you think the main issue is then at the moment, Ash? Why are things such a mess?
Oh, the culture. The culture is completely rotten in the club. Like, if I take my one of my boys, or I send the two of them to go and see a match, but between train and car parking and the ticket and maybe a programme, getting something to eat, it's £200 to £250, and that's not an insignificant amount of money. And people work hard all week. And if you get back to, for example, the culture in the Matt Busby and the Sir Alex Ferguson era, and I know it's a different time, but you have to look at things like that. And their ethos was they're in the entertainment game.
Yeah, I mean, I do think you're right there, Ash, about that culture, and that is so important, isn't it? Isn't it, Jermaine? I mean, you've been in teams that have been, you know, brilliant and all pulling in the same direction. How difficult is it, and whose job is it? Is it simply down to the manager to try and change that kind of culture in a club?
Well, yeah, it's down to the manager per se to a certain extent, and then you've got to get the players, and you've got to have a captain who gets around the players.
Do you think Fernandes is that captain?
No, I think Fernandes is all about himself. You see it on the pitch, you throw his arms in the air, things ain't going well. You know, he's got sent off for some stupid challenges. That's not putting the team, that's, you know, that's naivety and putting himself first and not thinking about the team. I'm going to go back to it. Steven Gerrard, if we was in this situation, if we was playing like this week in, week out, in training, it would be going off. In the dressing room, it would be going off, where you thinking, I'm actually scared to put a foot wrong because I know what the RAF is going to be like. And everyone gets together, goes out there, and they're going to play like, you know, this could be their last game. That's what a captain and leader does. And obviously, you got Rafa wasn't that guy. He wouldn't really say much.
Yeah.
You know, it was left to Carra and Gerrard to rally the troops. So that's what a captain is. And then obviously you got your certain managers who can also do some of it as well. So they're just, at the moment, there's just nothing there.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.